Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy D Rose LS1 back with some more Marvel content. It's been a while since I did Marvel content, but Marvel is having a resurgence. They are having a resurgence, and we're seeing it in 4K. Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. The Russo brothers are back for the Avengers. We still got Daredevil. We still got Daredevil. We still got Daredevil. Yeah, and X-Men, fucking Deadpool and Wolverine is about to hit $1 billion. That's confirmed. They hit like 200 million in the first 2 days. That shit's gonna be hit $1 billion. That's an automatic success, no matter how you feel about the fucking movie. To me, it was fucking amazing. But today, I'm gonna give y'all my ranking of every X-Men movie that I've seen. I've seen all of them. Not fully through. Some of them, well, one of them I haven't seen fully through. But this is my ranking, okay? So, this is how we're gonna start. My number 14. My number 14 is the New Mutants. You know what I said? I didn't finish it completely. I was talking about this fucking movie. This fucking movie sucks. It's trash. It's booty cheeks. I was watching it and I was bored out of my fucking mind. It wasn't even like it was a good, bad. It was just boring. I didn't care about nobody in the movie. It sucked. I didn't really care. I was falling asleep. I don't really remember what happened. And I turned the shit off. And never planned to turn it back on. So, yeah, that's the worst X-Men movie that I've seen. Number 13 is X-Men Dark Phoenix. And they probably could have gotten a good movie out of X-Men Dark Phoenix, but I was there at the time this movie came out. I was fully invested in Marvel. So I know the whole rundown of what happened with X-Men Dark Phoenix. And the Dark Phoenix production, it was bad because, Fox was going to merge with Disney. And when you see the movie, you see the actual Dark Phoenix movie, it's clear that everybody, including the actors, the fucking writers, the directors, they're all checked out. This movie felt like, hey man, we're just gonna put this out. We know it's over for Fox X-Men. It's done. So you could tell a bunch of people did not care about this movie. They just wanted to get it out there because it was in development for so long. So it was a lazy effort, and also the movie sucked. The villain sucked. Everything about it sucked. And also it was a repeat of a story that we have already seen that fucking sucked. And it was worse. So that's the second worst X-Men movie of all time. Number 12, X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse pissed me off so much because they start fucking with the timeline again. Fuck! Before this movie, they fixed the timeline. Now it's fucked up again. Somehow, Jean Grey and shit is 10 years older than she actually was. And you can say, Jean Grey, Cyclops, a bunch of these people, fucking Jubilee. When Jubilee was in the first fucking X-Men, I think it was the first or second X-Men, she was like fucking 10. And she was like 10, 13. So she would have been born in the 90s. This shit take place in 80 fucking 3. And we already seen in X fucking 3, Jean Grey was a fucking child in fucking 83. Here she's 17, 16. That was fucking ass cheeks. And you can try to say that it was Like it was like the fucking the going to the past and going to the future messed up everything, where somehow she was born in a different year than she usually was, but that's kind of a reach. It's kind of a reach because in Days of Future Past, she's the fucking same age in the future. So that was my issue. The timeline in general of the Fox timeline is horrible. Also, my guy, Moon Knight, he's great. The fucking costume sucked. It looked like Ivan Ooze from fucking Power Rangers. It was terrible. That was not Apocalypse. I'm sorry. It didn't feel like Apocalypse. Anything about Apocalypse. It just sucked. And I don't know. I didn't feel any energy from that new cast of X-Men, like X-Men Youth. So that is my number 12. My number 11. My number 11 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah. If I would have seen this for the first time, like today, that shit probably would have been like 13, 14 at the end of my fucking list. But I seen it as a kid. And as a kid, that shit was hard as fuck. She was sick. Looking at it as an adult, this shit's horrible. The movie's horrible. The writing's horrible. The first montage of the fight scene, that shit was sick. But the CGI was terrible. Deadpool was horrible. That was the main meme of the movie for many years. That was horrible. It was just a lot of corny, cheesy lines. The movie was just corny in general. It was just one of those corny movies. And that's when X-Men start like losing his ground. Because at first X-Men was like dominating. X-Men and Spider-Man was dominating. That movie sucked. Number 10. X-Men The Last Stand. I got mixed emotions about this one. Because I feel like it was some good moments. But the way things have played out, it sucked. And a lot of things did not stick. Professor Xavier dying definitely did not fucking stick, because he didn't fucking stay dead. He fucking transferred his brain or some shit, but somehow got his fucking body back. It was some weird shit. Or people say he was making people think that he was in a fucking wheelchair and looking like fucking Patrick Stewart, but fucking Magneto losing his powers. Ended up getting his power back anyway. Well, I'll just drop my bottle, but yeah, not a strong performance from Jean Grey. It just felt like she was just being bad, just be bad. It didn't feel connected to the actual Dark Phoenix story at all. Cyclops got fucking clapped immediately. It was pathetic. It was like, why is he's not being taken serious in these X-Men movies at all. He's not the fucking leader. I don't care what nobody says. The focus was always on Wolverine. Every movie. Cyclops was just there, pretending to be a leader. So, that movie was, they had some bright scenes. I liked it, Angel. But, that's all I gotta say about that movie. Number 9, The Wolverine. This one was fire. I like the Wolverine. I just like anything with Wolverine in Japanese culture at all was sick. The first scene was sick when he fucking got hit by the atomic bomb and his skin started shredding. That shit was sick. But, this is the most slept on X-Men movie out of all of them. A lot of people haven't even watched this movie. But to me, it was a great movie. It wasn't perfect. That's why it's all the way at 9. But it was a good movie to watch if you're like bored or something. Just Wolverine scabbled, fucking walking through fucking Japan and shit. With this old dude in the samurai suit trying to get his youth back. And fucking Wolverine is like dying and shit. It was sick. It was sick. You guys should watch it. Number 8, Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is Deadpool 2 was cool. It just wasn't that memorable to me. And it didn't hold as much impact as the first Deadpool movie. It did better than the first Deadpool movie, but it didn't hold the same impact of the first Deadpool movie, where it was like reaching boundaries and it was actually a successful rated R movie. This movie was just whatever. The X-Force was fucking pathetic, but it was pathetic on purpose because it was a fucking Deadpool movie. They sucked. Domino was sick. Cable was sick. The jokes was cool. I don't get the whole having another Juggernaut. That shit didn't make sense to me, unless it's actually the original Juggernaut from X-Men: The Last Stand. But it's Fox. It's Fox. The timeline is horrible. It's the worst timeline in any cinematic anything. But it was cool. It wasn't really memorable though. I don't think people watched it a lot, but it was an alright movie. Number 7, Deadpool. Deadpool was crazy. Deadpool was a crazy moment. It was a crazy moment. I was there when I seen it. Of course I was there, but it was during the time of the MCU too, the time it was emerging, and a lot of people did not think a rated R movie can be successful. Deadpool was definitely successful, even though it didn't hit like $1 billion like a lot of other Marvel movies. Doing $700 million is fucking crazy for a rated R movie. And it was actually a good movie. It was a funny movie. Ryan Reynolds killed it. It felt like Deadpool, and this was the beginning of Deadpool being a cultural icon besides the comics, because the comics, he was always popular. I remember I first seen Deadpool in like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and he was my favorite character back then. But seeing him on a big screen and actually seeing that this fourth wall breaking jokester can actually make a movie and it actually works, and he is the only character that can get away with these certain things that goes on with a movie. Like all these other Marvel movies can't do what Deadpool does, and it would be called good. A lot of that shit will be called like ass cheeks. But since it's Deadpool, it works. So, Deadpool, fantastic movie. Number 6, the first X-Men movie. Iconic. Probably the most iconic movie. And the most revolutionary movie besides Blade and the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. This movie you can just feel the nostalgia. Like I said, if this is your first time watching like the X-Men movie, the first one, you're probably not going to like it. But watching it again after watching it as like a child, the nostalgia hits you so much. And the main thing that carried that movie was the cast. The cast was incredible. Professor Xavier, Magneto, Wolverine himself. It was great. Just the feel, the suits, the building of Xavier's school. You can just feel all the nostalgia in that movie, and I fucking loved it. I loved it. Toad, Sabretooth. It was incredible. That is one of the most, to me, X-Men, the first X-Men movie is one of the most important, not even Marvel, comic book movies of all time. That is like one of the most important, because it set the foundation of having an actual team movie work. And at that time, X-Men was way more popular than the actual Avengers itself, so it made more sense, and they sold it. And I bet Fox thought in the long run X-Men was going to be like the thing. Disney took over Marvel, and you know we got Avengers and all that other stuff. But luckily now we're getting the X-Men in Disney, and we're going to see how that plays out. Number 5, X-Men First Class. Love this movie. Incredible. This is my shit right here. I thought this movie was going to suck. On first impressions, I thought X-Men First Class was going to suck. I didn't know anything about what was going to go on in this movie at all. I didn't even know Professor Xavier and Magneto were going to be the key points, and I didn't even know that it was going to be a prequel movie. I thought Fox was just doing some bullshit. Now I actually watched the movie. The movie is incredible. James McAvoy as Professor Xavier, they killed it. Magneto killed it. That movie, it really got the train back moving for X-Men movies with that movie, because that prequel wasn't only good, but it was a fresh young cast playing an old cast, and was setting up for the future for other movies that were good and also bad, also fucking terrible. But you can tell that these roles were great for these two people. The whole backstory with Magneto being refreshed and told into like with more context about what's going on and how he actually got the helmet, and the fucking end scene where he killed Shaw with the fucking with the coin. That shit was sick. I love that movie. Great movie. Number 4, Deadpool and Wolverine. An incredible movie. Spoiler warning. Incredible movie. Love that movie, man. Cameos, the comedy, the action were good. If you are looking for a fucking Civil War type story, you're not going to get it here. And if you thought you were going to get it, you are a fucking idiot to even think that shit. Because Deadpool has always been this character, even in the comics, where he's not taken seriously, even though they try to tell a serious story. The story is fucking terrible, but I don't give a shit because it's Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm not there for the fucking story. I'm there to see the cameos. I'm there to finally see Deadpool and Wolverine team up. That shit. And this is like No Way Home, to where this movie is a moment. You go in that theater. The theater is, when you first go in that theater and the experience you get with like a packed room, which I did, it was insane. Also, feeling the energy of Deadpool and Wolverine finally coming to the MCU. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds coming to the MCU. It was insane. You look at it and you look at the thing, you be like, I never thought this was going to be possible. Then you see all the other cameos. You see fucking Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. That shit got me. Because I was there. I seen the first Fantastic Four movie in the theaters. I was like 4 or 5 years old, but I was there. I seen Rise of the Silver Surfer in the theaters. That was nuts. Seeing Chris Evans as fucking Johnny Storm in the movie. Seeing Sabretooth, Toad, all these characters coming back. It was great. Then seeing fucking Wesley Snipes played. That was crazy. Channing Tatum fucking as Gambit. It was nuts. X-23 returned. It was crazy. Wolverine and fucking Deadpool fighting the Deadpool corpse. It was nuts. That movie was a moment. Like I said, if you do not know the history, like if you did not know that fucking Channing Tatum was about to actually be Gambit, if you did not know this, you probably wouldn't like Channing Tatum as Gambit in the movie. If you've never seen Fantastic Four, if you've never seen the old Fantastic Four movies and you see fucking Chris Evans as fucking Johnny Storm, you're thinking like, man, why is Captain America being fucking Johnny Storm? And you don't get it. I understand. You haven't watched all the old Fox movies or even MCU movies, you're not going to get the jokes. So I can understand for people that haven't experienced the shit that I experienced with like, because this is epic because I seen all those fucking Fox movies since I was a kid. And it was a crazy experience. And I loved it. It was a culmination and a thank you letter to all of Fox for these X-Men movies, and Kevin Feige being the first person, for being the one of the people, not the first person, but one of the people to actually produce the first fucking X-Men movie. This is, if you don't know this shit, like I said, it's not going to hit for you. It hits for me though. But excellent movie. Number 3. I might shock some people. Number 3. X2. I'm just being like, why is it not number 1? Why is it not number 1? Why is it not number 1? Because the movie is aging. Finally. The movie is aging. It is aging. But still, I respect it. So it's number 3. But this movie is insane with the action scenes, the lore of Wolverine, and fucking William Stryker, that fucking carries the series throughout all of this X-Men shit. Amazing. Fucking Lady Deathstrike, fucking with the finger, that shit was so cool. Fucking Magneto breaking out of fucking prison with the fucking when fucking Mystique put the iron in a fucking in a bodyguard, and then the bodyguard comes in and fucking Magneto grabs the fucking iron from his fucking body and breaks out of the prison. That shit was epic. That was one of the most epic moments I ever seen. Fucking the tease of Jean Grey becoming the Dark Phoenix before the movie. Amazing. The whole, I love that movie, man. That was an excellent movie. I loved it. The fucking fight in the mansion when Stryker and them pop out. When they pop out and show niggas in the mansion. And then when Colossus come out, and they finally show Colossus like in his fucking metal form. That shit was sick. That was great, man. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I love that movie. Excellent movie. Writing wise as well, excellent. That might be like one of the best written X-Men movies ever. Number two, it is Logan. And you know why I put Logan here. Great redemption story for the actual Wolverine character. Fantastic story writing. Learning about fucking, Professor Xavier. This was so clever, having Professor Xavier, having like Alzheimer's and shit. And his mind is so strong and connected with so many mutants, he wipes out most of the mutants on the planet. This was clever. I liked it. And fucking Wolverine being an old has-been, that's finally starting to like age and shit, and it's like he's getting his adamantium is poisoning him. This was, I love it. And then he has a daughter clone, X-23, and then he got X-24, the actual clone of Wolverine, just wrecking shit, and it was rated R. So this is the first time we actually see Wolverine throwing down, cutting limbs and shit. This was amazing, man. It was great. And then we see the climax of Wolverine dying. Very heartfelt. He died protecting the kids so they can have a better future and not be test subjects. Fantastic. And my number one. You know what my number one is. You fucking know what my number one is. You fucking know what my number one is. It ain't pop up on the list yet, so you know what my number one is. And this gonna be controversial, but I don't give two shits what you think. My number one is fucking X-Men Days of Future Past, nigga. Yeah. That is the best X-Men movie of all fucking time. I don't care. I don't care how you feel about the movie. That shit was a moment before a moment. That was the high of MCU, of the high MCU to me. Days of Future Past. Because this was the movie that had both of the X-Men from the timeline, the young version and the fucking older version. So we had fucking we had fucking the old fucking Professor Xavier, the old Magneto, Storm returns, a bunch of people, everybody returns for this epic. It should have been climactic. It should have been climactic, and this should have been the end of X-Men. The Days of Future Past movie should have been the last X-Men movie. If this would have been the last X-Men movie, the X-Men movies would have had a better taste in people's mouths. No diddy, but man, seeing, the scene where fucking the young Professor Xavier and then the old Professor Xavier team up and talk to each other to figure out the solution was sick. Seeing fucking Wolverine return as an X-Men since fucking The Last Stand, and we see fucking Halle Berry in them. This was sick. Even though the way he got to the past was fucking stupid. It was stupid as hell. Cause Kate didn't have them powers. That wasn't her powers. Her only powers was fucking walking through walls and shit. That was her only powers. But the movie overall was great. Mystique was fucking incredible, and she was front and center of this movie for real. It might look like it was Wolverine, but it really was Mystique that was front and center and was the key to change the fucking future, because she's the one that's gonna kill the nigga with the Sentinels, Peter Dinklage. She was the one that kills him, and then in the future they set off the Sentinels. So she was the main factor of this movie. And just seeing, just the fucking, this is sick. Seeing fucking, man, this is great, man. This was great. Seeing fucking Magneto beat the shit out of Wolverine and stick like parts of the fucking baseball park into him and throw this nigga into the river. It did not changes the fucking future to where how Stryker actually get Wolverine. It was incredible. That movie was incredible. And it was supposed to fix the timeline. At that time, Days of Future Past did fix the timeline. But after that, they fucked up the timeline again. After the movie. When they had fucking, X-Men Apocalypse. But that movie was supposed to reboot and reset all the fucking ass shit and all the plot holes and shit from the X-Men movies and make it, conjunctually one perfect timeline to where they fixed it. That's how you see in the end, Wolverine is like fucking Jean Grey and Cyclops, they're alive. So that is to me the best X-Men movie of all time. Still, I don't give a fuck about the repercussions in the next movies or anything. That movie, when I seen it, that shit was that was an epic moment. That was like a Civil War moment for me, bro. That was an epic moment. That was a very epic moment. That was a moment. That movie was a moment. And I love moments, and that was great. So, thanks everybody for watching. Like and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about my list. And if not, tell me what your number one is. Please like and subscribe, and I'm out.